Have you ever considered your life and realized that someone who once meant the world to you is now just a memory? Not because of a fight, not because of distance, but because something just shifted. They faded. And strangely, you let them. This isn't just life being random. It's something deeper, something that even the greatest philosophers have tried to understand. Why certain people appear in your story only to disappear without warning. It feels personal, but it's not always about you. It's about what life, time, and change silently conspire to teach you. Heraclitus once said, "You cannot step into the same river twice." Why? Because both you and the river are constantly changing, and so are the people around you. What once aligned now drifts apart, not out of cruelty, but out of motion. Existence is movement, and relationships are no exception. We often think that when someone drifts away, it's a failure, a broken friendship, a missed opportunity. But from a philosophical lens, fading is sometimes necessary. It's not destruction, it's transformation. The disappearance of a person from your life might be the beginning of something else, something unseen. Think of your life as a series of overlapping orbits. Some people enter your field with gravity so intense you feel like they'll stay forever. But even planets break away from alignment. It doesn't mean the orbit was meaningless. It just means its purpose was fulfilled. Soren Kierkegaard wrote about despair, the despair of losing a self you once knew, or a connection that once defined you. But he also hinted that despair leads to awakening. When people fade, you're forced to confront what part of you they mirrored, what part of your soul resonated with theirs. And when they go, that mirror cracks. That's the real sting. Not the loss of the person, but the loss of how you saw yourself through them. Have you noticed that certain people only show up in specific chapters of your life? Some are there for your childhood chaos. Some appear just long enough to push you into pain. Others arrive at the height of transformation, when your identity is blurry and you're ready to change. But very few stay for the whole book. There's a concept in Buddhist philosophy called impermanence. Nothing is meant to last forever, not even the deepest of bonds. The sooner we accept that, the less we suffer. It doesn't make the fading easy, but it does make it meaningful. You might wonder, if they were meant to be in my life, why didn't they fight to stay? But that's the ego talking. The soul, on the other hand, whispers a different question. What did they come to teach me before they left? Sometimes a person's role in your life is not to stay, but to shake, to rattle the foundation of who you are, to show you what love is, or what it isn't, to expose wounds, to bring light to parts of you you didn't even know were in the dark. Some people are not lifelines. They're lightning strikes. They appear, they ignite, and they vanish. The Stoics believed that we suffer more from our expectations than from reality. We expect consistency. We want permanence in a world that's inherently fluid. And when someone changes, pulls away, or fades into silence, we feel betrayed. But that silence might be the very medicine your soul needed to hear. The people who drift from your life leave space behind them. And that space isn't empty, it's fertile. It's filled with reflection, growth, and stillness. The kind of silence that speaks louder than presence. Think about the moments that shaped you most. Were they always loud, obvious, and filled with people? Or were they quiet realizations born from solitude? Absence can be a teacher, too. You might feel like you were abandoned, like you weren't enough. But in truth, you may have outgrown the frequency you once shared. And that's not arrogance, that's evolution. Some people walk beside you because you match their pain. You share the same confusion, the same chaos. But when you start to heal, when you start to rise, they can't hear you from that altitude. And they slip away quietly. It doesn't make them villains. It makes them human, and it makes you. Ready, some leave with no closure, no explanation, no goodbye, and you're left holding a ghost. A text that was never answered, a conversation that never happened. But sometimes closure isn't something you get from others. It's something you create within yourself. You realize that their chapter in your book was never meant to go on forever. And their exit doesn't erase their value. It completes it. Nietzsche believed in eternal recurrence, the idea that everything happens over and over again in infinite cycles. But not every soul you meet is meant to recur. Some are meant to be one-time sparks, fragments of the infinite you had the privilege to touch. Just once. You're not broken because they left. You're just in motion, just like they are. Maybe you both served your purpose in each other's journey. And now, life is redirecting your energy elsewhere. The ache you feel isn't proof that they should have stayed, it's proof that they mattered. And that's enough. The universe has a strange intelligence. It pulls people into your life exactly when you need them, and sometimes it pulls them away before you're ready. But readiness is an illusion. No one's ever really ready to lose something meaningful, but you survive it anyway. And sometimes you even thrive because of it. You learn to honor the quiet exits, the subtle disappearances, the fading voices. Not with bitterness, but with reverence. Because every presence leaves an imprint. And every absence creates new space for insight, for truth, for becoming. There's a kind of sacred wisdom in learning to let go. We think letting go means forgetting, erasing, moving on as if nothing happened. But true letting go is remembrance without resistance. It's holding the memory without clinging to the presence. It's saying, yes, you were part of me. And now, you're part of who I became. Have you ever looked at an old photograph and felt like you were staring at someone else's life? The smile, the people, the moment, it's all yours, yet distant, dreamlike. That's how life works. Time doesn't ask permission to move on. It carries you forward whether you're ready or not. And some people are simply not meant to make the journey with you. It doesn't mean you're better than them. It doesn't mean they failed you. It just means your paths served their sacred intersection, and now they diverge. The ancient Greeks had a word for this: kairos, the opportune moment, the kind of time that isn't measured by clocks, but by meaning. And when a relationship reaches its kairos, it has fulfilled its reason for existing. We often try to hold on after that moment has passed. We fight to preserve what once was because we fear the void that comes after. But growth requires space, and space requires endings. When people fade, they don't always vanish from memory. Sometimes they become part of your internal landscape. You carry them in your laughter, in your scars, in the decisions you make when no one's watching. Their voice becomes an echo in your intuition. And that echo, strange as it is, still guides you. Sometimes we mistake attachment for love. But true love, deep, unpossessive love, allows someone to go even when you want to hold them closer. It trusts that the connection mattered, even if it didn't last forever. And it honors the goodbye as much as it cherishes the hello. Seneca once wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." This isn't just a poetic phrase. It's a reminder that when someone exits your life, it's not always a loss. It's a clearing. A space is made for new wisdom, new people, and new layers of yourself to emerge. And let's be honest, there are people you've let go of too. People who looked at you and wondered why you faded. Why did you stop replying? Why did the warmth leave the room when you walked in? We are not just victims of fading, we are participants. Sometimes unconsciously, but still complicit. The truth is, most relationships are not designed to last a lifetime. They are designed to deliver lessons. Some teach you strength. Some teach you patience. Some teach you who you don't want to be ever again. And a rare few teach you love, the hard kind. The kind that breaks you open so the light can finally reach the places you've kept hidden for years. You might wonder, how do I know if someone's time in my life is really over, or if I'm just giving up too soon? That's the paradox, because you don't always know. And you won't know until the silence between you begins to feel more honest than the conversations ever did. You'll feel it, not as an explosion, but as a quiet understanding, a sense of peace that grows where anxiety once lived. You'll stop checking your phone. You'll stop playing out the last conversation in your head. You'll stop blaming them or yourself. You'll just breathe and realize that the air tastes different when it's not filled with longing. One day, you'll pass a place you used to go together, or hear a song that once held your whole heart, and you won't feel pain. You'll feel gratitude. Because even though they're gone, they helped build the version of you who's standing here now. And that version deserves your attention more than the version of them you still miss. It's easy to romanticize what's gone, to wrap old memories in golden light and convince yourself it was perfect. But the past is a painter with a selective brush. It only highlights what nostalgia wants you to see. Be honest. Some of the people who left your life were not meant to stay. Some brought chaos. Some brought confusion. Some mirrored parts of you that you've now outgrown. You've risen since then. Quietly, slowly, but undeniably, you no longer fit the frequency of who you used to be, and that's why they can't find you anymore. You're not lost. You're evolving. So here's the question I leave you with: who has faded from your life? And what did their absence reveal about who you're becoming? Leave a comment below. Share your story. Someone out there might need to hear it to finally let go of their ghost. And remember this: fading doesn't mean failure. Absence doesn't mean erasure. Every soul you meet is part of the great mosaic of your becoming. Some will stay, some will go. But all of them, every single one, helped carve you into who you are. Honor the exits. Bless the empty spaces, and walk forward lighter, wiser, freer. If this video spoke to something inside you, like it saw a part of you no one else does, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and stay with us as we explore more truths that lie beneath the surface.